On a bright, late-morning weekday, sunlight poured through the tall glass windows of the Al Noor fine dining restaurant, casting gold streaks across the polished floor. The place was buzzing softly with the hum of business meetings, casual lunches, and clinking cutlery. Yet, amid all this, something felt strange in the air, like calm water rumbling beneath the surface, moments before a storm. It began when a billionaire walked in, the kind whose presence sucks the air out of the room. His confidence, or perhaps arrogance, filled every corner before he even reached his table. But no one noticed the storm he would soon create, nor the quiet force that would silence it, a young waitress whose life had been anything but easy, and who carried more strength within her than anyone could guess from her tired eyes and modest uniform. Before the story unfolds, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Kindness Thread if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of humility. Her name was Layla, a 22-year-old working long shifts to support her younger brother's college fees and her mother's medical treatments. The morning was warm, and as sunlight touched her face each time she walked past a window, she wished the warmth could melt away her anxieties. She had been running between tables since 9 a.m., offering practiced smiles to customers, hiding the weight of her life behind soft expressions. She was exhausted, but she kept going because she had no choice. Life had pressed her into corners she hadn't asked for, yet she kept fighting silently, day after day. That day was supposed to be like any other, until the billionaire arrived. He entered wearing a pristine white thobe, a red and white keffiyeh draped neatly over his shoulders, and an expression that suggested he expected the world to adjust itself for him. He was surrounded by two assistants, both carrying documents, schedules, and phones that never stopped ringing. The billionaire spoke loudly in Arabic, making sharp gestures as though he was commanding attention. Even before he sat down, the restaurant manager intercepted him with nervous flattery, guiding him to a premium corner table by the window. The billionaire didn't acknowledge the manager, instead, he sat with a dismissive wave. People began to whisper, curious and intimidated at the same time. Layla was assigned to serve him. The manager insisted she give exceptional service because important people deserve important treatment. She nodded quietly, though something in her chest tightened. Not because of who the man was, but because she dealt with people like him before, people who believed money gave them higher value, people who didn't see waitstaff as humans. Still, she approached his table with the same calm professionalism she gave everyone else, holding her notepad close to her apron, hoping the encounter would be quick and uneventful. But it wasn't. From the moment she stepped toward him, he looked her up and down with narrowed eyes, then exchanged a mocking smirk with one of his assistants. They started speaking in Arabic, low at first, but loud enough that Layla could hear every word. They called her slow, uneducated, someone who probably didn't understand anything beyond carrying plates. They laughed about her posture, her tired face, even her shoes. The assistant tried to quiet the billionaire, but he only spoke louder, scoffing that people like her didn't matter and weren't worth respecting. Several nearby customers shifted uncomfortably, sensing something cruel happening but unsure whether they should intervene. Layla felt her heart throb painfully, as if each insult struck directly against her ribs. She clenched her fingers around the edge of her notepad, willing herself not to cry. She had dealt with rudeness before, but this was different. He wasn't just rude, he was ridiculing her for amusement. Yet she kept her chin steady. Her mother had always told her that dignity wasn't something people could take from you, it was something you surrendered. And she refused to surrender it. When she remained silent and composed, the billionaire grew even more irritated. He leaned back, pointed at her with an exaggerated laugh, and made another cruel remark in Arabic, certain she didn't understand a word. His assistants looked away, uncomfortable but unable to challenge him. The room had grown quieter, people pretending not to stare but unable to look away entirely. A heat flushed through Layla's body, not anger alone, but a culmination of fatigue, humiliation, and years of swallowed pain. Then something inside her shifted. She stepped slightly closer, took a calm breath, and gently placed the menu on his table. The sunlight from the window hit her from the side, illuminating her face in a soft glow. That was the moment she decided she wouldn't let herself be belittled today. She lifted her head and looked directly at him, her eyes steady, her voice firm yet respectful. And then, in flawless, articulate, and beautifully pronounced Arabic, she responded to every insult he had made about her. The billionaire froze. The smirk on his face evaporated. His eyes widened in complete shock, as if the ground beneath him had suddenly cracked open. The assistant stared too, stunned. A silence swept across the restaurant. Customers who had been pretending not to listen now held their breaths. Layla continued speaking calmly, explaining that she was not uneducated, not ignorant, and certainly not someone he had the right to demean. She told him she grew up bilingual because her mother had taught Arabic at a community center for immigrant children. She told him that her job did not define her intelligence or her value, and that people deserved respect regardless of their position. She spoke with such grace and composure that even those who did not understand the language could feel the power in her words. The billionaire's face softened, embarrassment replacing his arrogance. For the first time, he looked at her, not as a servant, not as someone beneath him, but as a human being. He lowered his gaze slowly, and his posture shifted in a way that suggested surprise, then shame. He cleared his throat, trying to find a response, but none came. When she finished, Layla stepped back with a quiet dignity. Not angry. Not emotional. Only strong. The billionaire finally whispered in English, barely audible, asking for forgiveness. But Layla only nodded politely, choosing professionalism over bitterness. Her composure humbled him more than any argument ever could. The restaurant manager rushed toward her afterward, panicked and unsure what had happened. But the billionaire stunned everyone when he stood up, approached the manager himself, and insisted on praising Layla. He said she deserved respect, not because of her language skills, but because of her strength and dignity under pressure. Before leaving, he privately requested the restaurant owner to promote her or offer her opportunities beyond her current role. The assistants, inspired and embarrassed, followed him out silently. The moment he left, several customers applauded quietly. Some even approached Layla to offer encouragement. For the first time in a long while, she felt seen, not for her struggle, but for her resilience. If this story touched your heart even a little, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Thread. Your support helps us continue bringing real, emotional, and inspiring stories to you. And before you leave, comment, respect is earned, not bought, if you believe dignity matters more than wealth. In the warm daylight that filled the restaurant, Layla continued her shift with a lighter heart. The world had not changed, but something inside her had. She walked with a new confidence, knowing she had stood up for herself with grace, and that sometimes the quietest voices are the ones that leave the loudest echoes.
Qué lindo. Qué linda vida que es el café, boludo. Yo adelgacé muchos kilos, pero también comía como el orto. Esto por la bota, por la moneta, por la operación lo estoy haciendo porque estoy concentrado en mi cuerpo, en esta parte del cuerpo, y no en lo demás, intentando que la cabeza no se me dispare para cualquier lado. Volví a adoptar viejas costumbres, como el café, con algo dulce, galletitas de coffee, choto, choto.